I got to tell you, in watching 22,000 fans in the stadium yesterday, most wearing masks, but then afterwards, revelers running all around without masks, I just kept on thinking super spreader event, super spreader event, super spreader event. And I was thinking about Governor DeSantis with, lifting all of the restrictions. I thought, Florida's going to kill all of us. I really felt that way. And there should be no reason why wearing a mask has been politicized the way that it has been. There should be no reason why Governor DeSantis has been so woefully inadequate in terms of protecting the people not only of Florida but the people of the United States. Imagine all those people, those 14,500 ticket buyers who are now going to fly back somewhere or go back into their communities and infect other people. I thought it was just despicable and disgusting.
Now, she's just, I guess, not very smart, this woman on The View. 14. Should she really think that 14,000 people who were at this open air stadium and socially distanced, they all got infected? Really? It's a super spreader event? Really? What were the Black Lives Matter protests, which were outside? Were they super spreader events? I just want to know. No, they weren't. Oh, okay. So the virus discriminates on the basis of politics. Right. Sure. It only infects right-wing outdoor gatherings. But this is also the Super Bowl. It's not even a right-wing gathering. It's just people want to see football. But it's in Florida, so there's a political component to it, you see. You are going to be, unfortunately, dragged through dishonesty that will truly blow your mind in the months ahead. The data speaks for itself. Ron DeSantis has the third largest state in the country by population, is in the middle of the pack nationwide for COVID mortality. That includes states like Wyoming, Vermont, Montana. That includes states where there's far fewer people, no real cities to speak of, large cities to speak of. Sorry. And, you're talking about Florida, which was open the whole time and limited the tyranny of the mask shamers and the lockdown lunatics, limited their tyranny. And the response you get from people now looking at the data is just lie about it. DeSantis is the bad guy in all of this. They have to convince people that, because unless they get them all bleeding it like the sheep they are, if they actually look at the data, they look at the numbers, you'd have to say, okay, DeSantis did not shut his state down and yet had a better COVID result in every possible way you can gauge it than California, than New York, than New Jersey, then I don't want to speak out of turn and guess at a number of other states, but I'm sure it's better than Michigan, better than Illinois. And they're acting like he's the bad guy. You'll see this is going to be very clear, because you know what terrifies them? Think about this. Trump's down. His whole family's now down in Florida. Florida has become the new Texas in a lot of ways. Sorry, Texas, I love you, but your governor's not been so great. Governor Abbott, not so great. Austin, little too Looney Tunes, Austin, with the policies. I know we got our KLBJ folks there, but Austin, I'm told, is like San Francisco plopped down in the middle of Texas right now. Although really good food, so that's nice. And here's what's going on with the way the Democrats are viewing all this. If DeSantis is able to get that Trump apparatus behind him, with being a very effective governor, with having a record to show through a true crisis that he was smarter and braver and just better at this than other people in positions of authority and power, he will be a formidable candidate if he were to choose to run, and especially if the Trumps decided to get behind him. Maybe Ivanka runs for Senate in Florida, and Laura Trump runs for Senate in North Carolina, and Donald Trump Jr. decides that he wants to really just push DeSantis this go round. He's still got a long time before he would have to run himself. So they're trying to deal with this right away. Stop the DeSantis train before it can get going. And I'm sure Floridians are saying, stop trying to steal my governor, Buck, but the nation may need him. The nation may need him. Think about that. An America First agenda filtered through the judgment and aptitude for governance of Ron DeSantis. That could really be something. I mean, look, I don't want to get too early in this and celebrating before we all, but we're seeing the COVID numbers, making it very clear who's done what. But, you know, they're going to lie about him. And this is why I want to establish this now for all of you. They're going to be lying to you about DeSantis. Play 4.
Obviously, Florida remains a hot spot. The variant looks like it could spread very quickly around this state. And Mika, vaccinations continue to go at an unbelievably slow rate.
Yeah, no, the vaccine process is painfully slow. I mean, there are people who are in categories who, you know, are definitely applying for it right now. Like my mother, people over the age of 70 who cannot get it. And then you see video of kids squashed together, screaming at each other, probably drinking. I mean, this is just a nightmare.
Well, I mean,
that is a COVID nightmare.
You talk about your mother. There's somebody who's 89 who has Parkinson's.
And she can't get the vaccine.
She hasn't been able to get a vaccine. And we know a lot of people who are in their mid to late 70s, 80s, who have underlying conditions in Florida, can't get their vaccines either. Seriously? How hard has this been? I know that Ron DeSantis has been stumbling around over the past year or so and has had some real problems, especially as it's pertained to vaccines. But I don't think anybody would have expected him to foul it up as badly as he has.
Now, let me just give you numbers so you understand how much these idiots on Morning Joe are lying to you. They're lying to you. You hear this, oh, yeah, it's so bad. You know, DeSantis done such a bad job. New York and Florida have roughly equal population. New York is the epitome of the Fauciite Democrat lockdown state. Okay, the epitome of it. And I'm here, and I know, and I've been dealing with it. First doses received of the vaccine in New York, and we got roughly same population here, folks, New York and Florida. First doses received, 1.8 million in New York. Oh, who wants to guess how many have been received in Florida? 2.7 million. So is 2.7 million more than 1.8 million? Do any libs out there, can Morning Joe math good for me for a second here? Can you math good, Joe Scarborough? What's more, 2.7 million or 1.8 million? But Ron DeSantis has done a terrible job with the vaccine. Okay. You say, well, Buck, that's only one metric. Okay, well, let's look at the most important metric of all, deaths. And remember, we're talking about a population. Florida has 2 million more people. Okay, so Florida actually, in a sense, is not a fair comparison in Florida's favor when you're looking at a number like this. Florida deaths from COVID-19, 27,814. New York deaths from COVID-19, as of today, according to CDC data, 44,512. Okay, again, Joe Scarborough, Mika Brzezinski, let's see if you can math good. What's more, 27,000 or 44,000? Anybody? Bueller? But Ron DeSantis has messed it up so badly. Do you see, friends? We have a scoreboard now, so to speak, with things like the vaccination. We have results to look at here. This is not just opinion. This is not, oh, I like my guy, you like your guy. We actually have data, to borrow from the Fauci. And the data unequivocally, with absolute clarity, shows that Florida did better than New York over the last 12 months of dealing with this pandemic. There is no honest, serious argument otherwise. It doesn't exist. And you can look at other similar states. By the way, New Jersey would be the same thing. Very hard lockdown in New Jersey. Very serious with the virus. And if you look at other blue states, you know, it becomes very clear what's happening here. And I want everyone to understand this. They have to lie. They have to lie about this because their power is at stake. They told you so many things that were not true, and they won't admit now, even when the data speaks clearly to how they were wrong, that they were wrong. They just want to change course a little bit slowly. They told you things that were not true. They made people suffer, and they understand that if the American people come to recognize that there will be consequences for those in charge, they will be kicked out of power because they're idiots. And the Democrat Party will lose power. So what do? They are just telling you things that are not true. I mean, Morning Joe and The View and these other shows, they're going after low information voters out there who watch these shows and think that they're getting intelligent analysis and honest journalism or whatever. And they're just making stuff up. You cannot say that Ron DeSantis has done a bad job with COVID compared to other states of similar size and population density. It is an impossible argument to make. And yet they're not only are they saying that he didn't do as good, they're saying that he did a terrible job and other people did a good job, like Cuomo. Yeah. These people never cared about you. They didn't care about the suffering you went through. These media talking heads did not miss a single paycheck. They don't feel bad for you when you're, coughing through a mask, if you're trying to go to the gym after being depressed for months and months, after losing your job, after watching your kid perhaps be near suicidal because you can't see his friend. They don't care about any of that. It's all about Joe Biden winning, the Democrats, good people in the White House. That's what they care about. Hey, Team Buck, thank you so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you like this video, please click that little thumbs up button so then it will log as liked. And also, if you want to see more great content from The First, please click subscribe.